watching France 24 and it's time now for our daily look at the international press. Owen Fairclough joins me now in the studio. Good morning, Owen. Nicolas Sarkozy of France, of course, rarely out of the headlines, and we've got local elections here starting on Sunday. So what's Sarkozy's message today?
As you say, rarely out of the headlines. He's given a wide-ranging interview, which you should be able to just see that in the French paper Le Figaro, where he talks and says, as the headline says here, that reform is an obligation. He's talking about raising the quality of life for French people. Prices here in France have been soaring recently. The cost of food and so on is going up. So it's he's really talking about focusing on the quality of life for people. Curiously, no mention of Carla Bruni in this interview, which is quite rare for an interview with President Sarkozy these days. And with 3 days to go until the elections, he's really looking to try and shore up his support.
Well, of course, some people would argue that the quality of life in France is already pretty good. They think we have these enormous lunch breaks, don't they, with wine, cheese and all the rest of it. Now, the papers, if we move over to the United States, are still digesting the results of Tuesday's primary contests. Of course, Hillary Clinton and John McCain did very well out of those, but is Barack Obama's star on the wane?
It would seem so. There's been lots and lots of reaction to this all over the world to these, and I think an editorial in the Australian newspaper sums it up quite well. There they talk about a 3 a.m. wake-up call for Barack Obama. That was the time in which he learned that Hillary Clinton had won the Texas primary. In this editorial, it compares Obama to Bambi and Doris Day, saying that really this man can do no wrong. But now journalists are starting to ask questions of him. Certainly he's faced questions about free trade agreements and his policy substance, issues like national security and so on. This is all, of course, good for John McCain. It gives more time for him to exploit his opponent's weaknesses.
Now, back here in France, a tax fraud scandal, which you're telling us began in Liechtenstein, has washed up all the way over here. How did that happen?
Absolutely. This is a story that has had a lot of journalists reaching for their atlases in the Principality of Liechtenstein. It's a huge tax fraud involving billions of euros that investors who put their money into a bank in Liechtenstein supposedly dodged paying tax on. Now we learn that at least 200 people, account holders who are French, who have accounts in a Liechtenstein bank, are under investigation. The amount that they're talking about here is certainly for French account holders, some 40 billion euros. That's equivalent to France's budget deficit alone. Die Welt newspaper in Germany reports that all is well, however, with the bank at the centre of this tax fraud, the bank called LGT, which made a 41% profit rise. That's 160 million euros. So not doing too badly, even if it is at the centre of a huge tax investigation.
Goodness me, well, we've only just recovered from Société Générale fraud here in France. It seems we're set for another one. But, Owen, I would think that one of life's guilty pleasures, if you're a billionaire, is checking out who else is richer than you or poorer. The Forbes Rich List is the source for that. Tell us who tops it this year.
Absolutely. This is a bit of a surprise. The number one on the Forbes Rich List, Warren Buffett. He's knocked Bill Gates off the top spot. Previously the world's richest billionaire. This chap, he's known as the Sage of Omaha. That's the state he's from. He made his money betting on the Brazilian currency and in oil. And a good friend of Bill Gates. He plays internet poker with him.
Goodness me. Well, thank you very much indeed, Owen Fairclough, for that review of the international press. Stay tuned to France 24.